Welcome to this is our first live stream airing on Shrink Wrapped.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm excited about our next book club book. What If You Are the Answer by Rachel Hollis. I hope you all read it. If not, you'll get some good tidbits here. This is what the cover looks like. She looks so cute. And I do feel like I have to do a disclaimer. Is anyone in the room?
We have two people watching. I'm not sure if everybody maybe people didn't didn't make it over to the Shrink Wrapped.
Do you want to put it on Pop Psych so that people know it's happening?
All right, we got 3 people. I'm not sure how to do that. Here, I know what I'm gonna do. You keep doing your thing.
Okay.
And I'll send a note.
Hi, Kylie. Thank you.
Kylie, you made it. We're proud of you. Okay, let me see what we can do here. Go about your business. What are we doing?
We're gonna do a book club on What If You Are the Answer by Rachel Hollis.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do.
We're just gonna let people join.
Hold on. I don't know why that. Okay, but honey, we're gonna keep talking.
I just think you need to explain to me what you're doing.
Well, you want people to go to the Shrink Wrapped. If people are on Pop Psych waiting for a live, they're not going to find it because we're airing it on Shrink Wrapped. So I thought I would go onto Pop Psych and tell people, go watch on Shrink Wrapped.
Oh, did you do that?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
But I'm concerned that this is slowing our current stream here. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, let's do the book club. David, are we still waiting for people to join? Let us know you're here by putting it in the comments.
Sweetheart, let's just rock this thing. What are we doing? What's the book?
We're doing What If You Are the Answer by Rachel Hollis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yes. There were some parts I didn't like. But for the most part, I thought it was a good book, and probably I've been, just so everyone knows, that I have been a fan of hers for a long time. And it was interesting to see how she did this book, which I thought, you know what? I do feel like she doesn't offer new advice, or it's not unique, but the way she packages it is really good, and it's digestible for me to kind of make changes. So I'm distracted by what you're doing.
I don't know how to make it so that you don't see this.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying to. Well, I just want you to do the book club. What I'm trying to do is tell the people, if you are on Pop Psych, we're actually doing the real live on Shrink Wrapped. So I want to put a comment here so that people that join know that that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Join Shrink Wrapped. Okay.
Okay. So that's what's happening.
This is on Shrink Wrapped. If you haven't heard of it, we are switching Allison's favorite things to that channel. David will be on it, but it will be more of my favorite type of things to talk about. And David is less interested in talking about these things. Mm-hmm. But we did want to talk about Rachel Hollis's book. So let's do it.
Okay. So can I write on here without you being distracted?
Well, I have to have a book club with somebody.
Okay. All right. Let's do the book club
here. Okay. So Dave, what do you think of the book?
Well, I didn't read the book.
You're the worst book club member ever.
Okay, but I started listening. I listened to it for 2 hours.
Okay.
For an hour and a half.
Okay.
And then I just did it. It was just too long for me to get through the whole thing. I think here's what I think. I think that all of these authors are looking for content, and I thought that it was good for her to not be like her usual routine is, I know what's right. Here's how you should be operating. And I find it arrogant. I think some people find her to be arrogant. And so this was sort of the opposite strategy, which is, here are these questions that are super important for you to know. And I thought it was a clever way of doing it. I did not find it that, honestly, I did not find it that compelling as my global of what I saw.
But I feel like globally, she doesn't speak to you like she speaks to me.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Why do you think because some people really,
I think because we have a lot in common. She's a 40-year-old woman, mother, dealing with the same stresses that we're dealing with, like a lot of the same stresses. Hers are more. So I feel like, but
if you are watching this on Pop Psych, the actual stream is on Shrink Wrapped. So that's a YouTube channel. I put a link to it on the Pop Psych channel. So I'm just using my phone here so that I can tell all of you to go over to the Shrink Wrapped page.
Okay. So before we get started, just so everyone knows, the book was a series of questions for you to answer for yourself. And I just would like to hear what other people thought of this book. So if you want to type in the chat what you thought about it, and if it, spoke to you, let us know. And then we'll get started on the discussion.
So how are you organizing this? What are we going to do?
So while people join.
What?
So while people join, the way I'm going to organize it is I'm going to ask David the 26 questions that she asks of us to answer for ourselves for growth. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, so does anyone want to go ahead and answer whether or not how they liked the book? Oh, okay. Well, Mandy doesn't like her anymore. I used to love her. She did too many things that were crappy. Okay. And she refuses to talk about Dave. But
is that true that she refused to talk about Dave?
No, she talked about him once. She said, I'm going to talk about it once on a podcast. And then she did. And she's like, but it's just too painful. And she brings it up a little bit in the book. But I just she brings it up a little bit, but yeah, I can understand. I mean, I feel like when we were all super fans of hers, when she was like at the pinnacle of her fame, I feel like we had, what do you call it when you feel like you have a relationship with a person?
You had a parasocial relationship.
We had a parasocial relationship with her and Dave. And then it was like a big disappointment. But as you read this book, there's like more understanding of what was going on with them and in their marriage. So the book, again, Lori wants to know, the book is called What If You Are the Answer by Rachel Hollis. So you're aware of it.
They can't read that, can they?
So this is the book, What If You Are the Answer by Rachel Hollis. Okay. So Dave, are you ready to get started?
Yes.
And please let us know if you are going to join in with the book. But the first question on the book is, what or who are you waiting for? What do you think about that?
What or who am I waiting for? Like, what's the context here? Like, for what?
So the question is like if you feel stuck in your life.
Yes.
And or you're in a rut, what are you waiting for? Like, do you need to dip out or do you need to
When you need to dip out?
Well, no, because so she brings up like, what in your life is holding you back?
I just think you're funny because I feel like I know exactly what just happened. Rachel Hollis mentions this part I did hear. Rachel Hollis mentions Seth Godin's book, The Dip. And I think Allison just thought about that and then just added in the dip to that explanation. The point is that I think if I'm understanding it right, the point is that even when things are not going well, if you're trying to achieve something, you should find a way to make something happen, whether or not things are going well right now. Like don't wait for the momentum to carry you. Create the momentum by doing something.
Yeah. And also like a lot of people, when they feel like they're in a rut or life gets monotonous, like they want to either exit or just keep doing it and be bored to death with it. And I thought I marked up this idea, but it says there's a brilliant idea in Seth Godin's The Dip, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since I read it years ago. The whole book is about what to do when something important in your life has become monotonous. In this book, Seth asks, what do you do when your life, relationship, career, model, hobby goes stagnant or dips? Turns out most people make the wrong choice when they're confused about what is the right path to be. When we try to decide if we should give up on the thing that's lost its magic or momentum, most people make the decision to either quit or keep going, hoping things will get better. But, and this is the bit I'm obsessed with, the opposite of quitting isn't just keep going, Seth says. The opposite of quitting is recommitting with passion. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. Can I tell you something else I'm annoyed about?
Yeah.
Is Seth Godin is a marketing and motivational badass.
Right.
Well, that's what he said.
But she's saying that she likes that.
I know.
And like I said.
But we should read Seth's book then.
I do think we should read Seth's book. But I feel like she.
Do you know I have that book?
I feel like she. I feel like she is talking about like she, what I said before was that she packages like other people's stuff really well. Nothing is really unique to her, but she packages it really well for me to understand.
Okay.
For me to hear it.
Okay.
So, and this part I really like too. Distract yourself enough and you'll make it through your entire life a creation of someone else's opinions or your unwillingness to challenge the norm. So one of the concepts in this chapter is like talking about how like you're waiting and you're always doing stuff for other people, but you're like ignoring your own passion to like.
I think you do that. Sorry, did I jump in there too fast? Go ahead.
Well, no, now I'll say it. What do you like? I
think that's a really good, that point I think is a wonderful point. And I think a lot of times, especially for moms, that there is this investment in kids and in their husband and in the running of the household. And I think that there is this, I think they become consumed with all of the things that they have to do, their emotional burden that they feel like they have to do. And I think that at times, moms feel pressure to be an A+ in all three of those areas. And I think that it would be healthier to be a B+ in all of those areas and add doing something that you want to do. Mm-hmm. Like what I'm thinking about is when you had some free time and you were online, I caught you online. I think you're like shopping for shoes for the kids, like who don't need new shoes, but you're like just spending time like thinking about them. And I think it'd be better if you were like, what am I into right now? And go explore that. Yeah. And I think that stereotypically men are a lot more comfortable getting into their hobbies and stuff. And I think women don't always do a great job of that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's because like we are like brought up to be what other people want us to be and like worry about making people angry.
What are you worried about making angry?
I want you to stop doing whatever you're doing because it's really hard to have a book club when you're only half listening.
I'm listening all the way. I'm just trying to, we have 106 people that are on the wrong stream. So I'm just trying to tell them where we're going, how to watch this.
So
what?
So I'm reading what people are writing, but I mean, it's true. Like I definitely feel the pressure from my family to be a certain way and your family to be a certain way, you know, and society. Mm-hmm. other moms. So anyway, I really like that. So do you ever feel pressure to be a certain way?
I mean, I feel very little pressured. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
I think men feel a pressure, like I feel pressure from you to be a certain way.
Does it impact how you
Yes.
how you do your career and stuff?
100%.
Yeah.
My career would be very different if I wasn't married to you.
Really?
Yes. I think I would have like a quarter of the ambition. Don't you think?
I don't know.
I feel like you early on pushed me. And I think having a family and wanting to be able to provide for my family, I think all of that. And I think you make me a better father, and you are not to be minimized, I don't think. And so that I feel pressure from that, but I don't feel like your parents don't put pressure on me, and I think you feel pressure from my parents.
Well, no, but I did feel from your dad, like the judgment of me working or like having a certain physique. Like I definitely feel like your dad. Remember this?
Allison.
He did that.
Okay, he was joking. You want to tell him the story? You want to go ahead and share it?
Before I was married to David, we were engaged, and David's dad said, "Right now, you look like this, but in 5 years, you'll look like that."
He had a couple of divorces, so there's room for improvement on some of that, I guess.
But I mean, I think just like women in general, like we just feel it so much more. Like, because like my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and like being able to keep a house, like she kept a house. And then I'm sure she felt pressure, you know. She got a master's degree, but her parents never even wanted her to go to college. So okay. This one is my favorite question, I think. So, and I like how she did it. So I don't know if you guys read the part about the vision cast that she does with her friends once a year, but then it became something once a month, like a dinner once a month where people talked about their vision for the year. And one of the biggest questions of that is, what must you let go of to be the person you want to be, like to help push you forward? So I know that I asked you that question.
Did I have an answer for that one?
I don't know, because I don't remember it.
I'm not sure I need to do anything. I'm not sure if I need to do any. I don't think I have anything to let go of. Do you think I do?
To help you move forward? I think one of the things you said was like snacking at night.
Oh, yeah, but that's not like a. That I would be.
I mean, everyone can get better, David.
I would be.
God.
What? Well, I think she's talking about like something deep, not like what's a bad habit, right?
Well, no, but like, what are some of the things? Like, for example, she says, I need to let go of dependence on alcohol as a coping mechanism. I need to let go of unfulfilling sex as a substitute for intimacy. I need to let go of debilitating obsession with my parents' approval. I need to let go of the clothes and the fixation on my body, the body I don't have anymore. I need to stop this never-ending toxic relationship with my ex-girlfriend. So, things like that.
All right. Well, I need to Well, what are they for you? What do you need to let go of?
I really wanted last year. I think my New Year's resolution was to build a community of mom friends, and like, you know, broaden my village. And I'm gonna let go of that because I tried really hard last year and I just didn't find my people. So
I think it's like a really sad thing that you want to let go of.
Really?
Yeah, because I think
because I have the people that I like. It's not like I don't have friends, but like just nurturing those people versus
okay.
Like I tried to do that book club and that was a big flop.
I think I just feel like you're letting go of the outcome that you want. And I think maybe what you need to let go of is like the process, or like the pressure you're putting on yourself around it.
Okay, yeah.
Like you would like to have
More mom
friends. I don't know that you have to just be like, well, I'm just going to suffer in isolation. I think maybe it's that you don't need to have a ton of mom friends right away, or maybe you don't have to be friends with those mom friends, or maybe you can just have one mom friend that you know what I mean? Like, I think, or maybe you can have mom friends that are at different depth than what some of your other friends are. But like, just to be like, I need to give up on relationships.
There was two good points you made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an emoter. And so I think having mom friends at different depths, but I also think like, I guess I'm letting go of putting in like the effort for it.
Can I, everybody keeps yelling in here. This stream is on the Shrink Space, or sorry, this stream is on the Shrink Wrapped YouTube channel. We have a second YouTube channel. No one's understanding my messaging here. We have a second YouTube channel called Shrink Wrapped. This stream is actually happening over there. I'm just using my phone to tell people to go to Shrink Wrapped, because I don't think anybody got my posts about it. So it is on live there because we have people that are on there. So I think you have to subscribe to Shrink Wrapped, and then there should be a live stream there. Right? Because people are on here.
Yeah. Go to Shrink Wrapped.
So I'm going to turn this off. The topic is Rachel Hollis's newest book. What if you're the answer? Okay, I'm going to turn this off because I think everybody's just getting pissed at me over here. Go to Shrink Wrapped. Please, thank you. All right, because this is just too distracting. And the whole time everybody's just heckling me because it's not, the stream isn't good.
Okay. So I think that is one of the things that I want to get rid of. But I think you make a good point, is like having different depths. All right. So what else do I need to let go of? I think that's what I really want to let go of.
How about needing to be perfect?
I don't feel like I need to be perfect. You think I do?
Yes.
About what?
Everything? What are you talking about? Really?
Yeah, I thought I was like, I just like to do things. I don't need to be perfect at them.
I think that you put a lot of pressure on yourself, like at work, for how you're perceived by other people. I think I agree that I don't think that you're like, your desire to be perfect doesn't like thwart your ability to get work done or something, but I think you want everybody, maybe a better way to say it is, I think you want to be perfect in people's eyes. You don't like it when someone's not happy with your performance or evaluates you negatively in any way. And I think that is something you could let go of.
Yes. And I did hear like a motivational speaker recently talk about how like a bicycle can't go. Like a lot of people want everything to be perfect, and then they don't ever get started because it's not all perfect. But like the real movers and shakers just get on the bicycle and just start pedaling and like basically go so that the idea doesn't fall over. I love that analogy. So I think I want to be more like that. Okay, so this is one of the things that really spoke to me. So this passage, in my little research project, I was struck by several things. The first is that in order for a scorpion to grow bigger, it must completely shed its skin first. Its exoskeleton must be hard in order to keep it safe. Awesome if you're battling a tarantula, but terrible if you'd like to expand in size and strength. If it wants to grow any bigger than it currently is, it must first remove its entire outer layer. Based on the image search, I can tell you that nothing about that process seems easy. In fact, when the scorpion sheds her armor, the shell she leaves behind looks very much like a lifeless version of herself. I couldn't help but wonder how tight and claustrophobic it must have been, constantly pushing against the walls that were unable to expand with her. How long did she try to fit inside that smaller version of herself simply because it was easier? How scary it must have been to decide to evolve, knowing the transition would be deeply painful. Why am I crying? And when did I start seeing my story playing out in the cycle of scorpions? Just wait, it gets even more poignant. The other beautiful lesson I learned is that when the scorpion finally makes the decision to leave her armor behind, she must live sometimes for several days, completely vulnerable, without any protective coverings. My guess is that some of you are in a season like that, a time when you feel raw and exposed or without armor. It's so easy in those moments to want to cling to what you know, to crawl back into the skin that no longer fits, because at least it comes with certainty. I know this feeling well. Don't you like that?
Mm-hmm.
That I feel like that really spoke to me.
Good.
Does it
Good.
speak to you?
Yes.
Like I feel like you're really good at change and trying new things and like having your armor exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Get daggers at you, but I'm not. So I feel like I don't put myself out there because I don't want to be exposed.
But why? What's the fear?
Well, obviously the fear is failure.
That people will find out that you're a failure, or that people will not like you, or that people will like, what are you afraid of? What does failure mean? Say more about failure.
Well, I just feel like when you I think it's the peanut gallery, the people that don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fear of what they think. And Rachel always talks about it. It's like the people that give you the most advice are the people that have never done it.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that have done it usually are just like,
mm-hmm.
oh yeah, it sounds awesome. You can do this.
Yeah, the people that have done it are going to be cheering you on, and the people that haven't done it will be criticizing you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's true. But the question I have for you is, if people appraise you negatively, what is the consequence or the outcome of that you're worried about? Why do you care if people evaluate you in a negative way?
Well, there's another chapter in this book, but I think it goes back to like your inner child, like not wanting to upset, for me, probably my parents wanting, and that's how you get love, is by doing what they want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So probably it goes back to that.
But are you aware of that consciously? Like, I understand that she's saying it comes from childhood or whatever, and it probably does. But in the moment, like if everybody on this stream says Allison's the worst ever, and then what happens?
Nothing.
Like zero, right? It
They
affects your life.
and they do sometimes say I'm the worst.
They
ever.
do not.
Sometimes
but,
they do.
Okay, but my point is that when we get lost in these people like me or don't like right, then it's really like there's a fear of something, but most people can't identify any like reasonable consequence. If all the pop psych or shrink wrap fans don't like you, that would be a bummer, but your life would not change.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so it's silly then not to do things you want to do because you're worried about what? You know?
The other analogy in this part is she talks about like Michelangelo, and that's how he made the David, is he took all the parts away that weren't David. That's how he chiseled.
I mean, I haven't read the book, so I shouldn't be critical, but part of me feels like, could this book be 6 paragraphs where she just says, here are the sentences, here are the questions to ask yourself? Or versus she's got to like go find like, what's a good analogy for exposing who someone really is? And then it's like scorpions molt, or an artist chisels, or a painter.
I actually like, it's so funny. Before I read this book, I saw like on Instagram a scorpion molting, and I was like, whoa. And then when she did that, I was like, then I could actually envision what was happening.
Uh-huh.
And it is pretty crazy. Like, I feel like if all of a sudden your skin feels too tight,
have you seen it like in fast mode where the scorpion or the spider's like
trying to get it off? Yeah. So anyway.
All right, what's the next question?
I'm going to go back to the next question. Okay. What isn't your passion? What is definitely not your purpose?
What is definitely not my purpose?
Yeah, that you do. And like she talks about, I think what's really interesting is she talks about how marketing has really made us feel like we need to know our passion all the time. But it could be just like micro passions. Like you don't need to know your purpose. You don't need to know it at 27, and you definitely don't need to know it at 52, and you can always be evolving that purpose, which I think like I feel like spoke to me.
These are good questions.
They are, right?
These are good questions. Yeah, I'll give it to her. These are good questions. What is definitely not my purpose? I don't know. You go first. What is definitely not your purpose?
Well, I feel like right now where I find meaning in my life is investing in my short humans. I do find purpose in that. So I do find.
I think you missed the question.
No, I know. But what isn't my. Okay, no, you answer it.
No, you the one that you read the book. I just heard about it. You read the book and you didn't make you stop and ask yourself what's not your purpose?
Oh, what is not my purpose? I don't think my purpose is my work.
Yeah.
I do like what I do, but it's definitely not my purpose. I feel like a lot of the work I do to get, the lot of the work I do is for others, and like I do a lot of support of other individuals. But that I don't find that's not my purpose anymore.
Agreed. Your purpose is not your job. Your purpose is not to make people at work like you or be happy with you. Your purpose is sadly probably not to please me. It could be maybe more, it could be a segment of your purpose, but it's not really what your purpose is, right? I think that's like the idea of the question is all the things that we do. I want, whatever. I want to engage in hobbies, and I want people at work to like me, and I want to make a lot of money, and I want YouTube to be successful. And I want all these things. But if I like distill down what are the things that are actually my purpose, right? Most of it's about, for me, child rearing is probably my purpose. But I bet you what she's saying is that we don't allocate the same energy to the things that are really what are your purpose versus the things that are not. I guess, most things fall into the not your purpose category.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of this is a good question for people that are, in careers for other people or for other reasons, like to impress others. There was a little story she brought up about how like a family called a meeting for their daughter. They were all physicians and she was a freelance writer. And the freelance writer was like, it's not my purpose to work all the time. Like I work so that I can live the life I want to live. I don't want to live to work. And I think like once you understand that, then you can like let go of a lot of stresses, the stresses that other people put on you, which is generational. I feel like people put stresses on their offspring all the time, or pleasing.
Yeah. All right, good. What else you got?
Okay. What big thing is actually little?
I think you need to explain what she means by that. What are you doing?
Well, I didn't highlight that one. So I'm
all right. You're just doing the ones that you highlight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. Like, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Let's ask the audience what we think she meant by that.
Honey, did you read you read that section?
I did, but I'm having a blank, and it's not helpful that you didn't read any of it.
You're leading this thing.
I know, but where's my sidekick?
I'm guessing she means what thing do you make a big deal of in your life, or that takes up a lot of space in your life that's actually not that big of a deal?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you come up with? Since you clearly thought a lot about this one.
I think what takes up a lot of space in my life that's not a big deal. Probably family stuff. Like the arguments with family.
Agreed. I mean, I agree you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
What? I don't think I have a thing. That one doesn't speak to me. Do you think there's something that I make a big deal of that's not a big deal?
Why are you acting like you're perfect?
No, I just.
I feel like you're not opening the door for growth.
I am. I'm open to growth. I just don't know that there's anything that I'm like that I. What? I don't think there's one that I think. Do you have one for me? Do you?
No.
All right. That one question doesn't speak to me. The next one, I promise you.
I know what it is.
What?
YouTube comments.
I've really grown on that. But
no,
I do get annoyed with the YouTube comments when they're not favorable. I just posted a video about Elon Musk, and everybody's yelling at me, and it bothers me because they don't read, and I get annoyed. Oh, Monica, money. That's probably a good one. That I get overly interested in financial success.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeez, how come everybody else here has no problems coming up with things for me to work on?
Okay, the next question is, what little thing is actually big? What little thing is actually big? Is there something in your life that you don't give a ton of weight to that actually has massive implications?
My late night snacking.
I think you're not sleeping. You're gonna get early onset dementia.
I wish you would stop saying that. You're gonna wish it to happen. I think, yeah, I could have better health hygiene.
Yeah.
I mean, I shower, but I could go to bed earlier and eat healthier at night. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she's also talking about what things, deep things, like your level of insecurity or, lack of confidence at work or childhood events that have shaped the way you see yourself. So, my mom is mean to me, or my mom is diminishing to me. And I think, oh, no big deal. And then how does it show up when I'm 40 years old and, am lacking self-esteem at school or at work, right? There's a correlation from that little event to how you're showing up today.
Yeah.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. Remember when you used to want to be an astronaut, a painter? Remember when you loved death metal, or when you were on the team, when you played that sport that always made you feel alive? Remember when you had the time of your life? Remember what excitement feels like? When was the last time you felt the sizzle in your veins and ignite the fireworks in your brain? When was the last time you could fall asleep, not because of being anxious or unsure, but because you were too busy dreaming? You are the little thing that's actually big. Oh, I don't
think I understood that.
I don't. One of the analogies that she made, which I thought about you in it, and I'm just rereading it. But she said, did you know that bonsai trees, like if you didn't put them in a box, if you didn't shove them in a box,
Yeah.
they'd be like an actual normal sized tree. But because you limit how they grow, they stay that size. They stay petite.
Oh, I thought they were special trees. They're just normal trees in a box?
Yeah.
Oh.
They put baby in a corner. Now I'm like so sad. Like when you always want to get a bonsai tree.
Yes.
Now I'm like, no, because that bonsai tree is meant to be big. And we just stuff it in a box for our own use. Isn't that the saddest thing you've ever heard?
I don't think it's a sentient being that you need to be worried about.
So
it was very sweet of you to have compassion for the bonsai.
But I mean, so that's what one of the things, like if you're like stuffed in a box, yeah, but it could actually be big. So don't be stuffed in a box.
Okay.
This one I think is interesting, and it's, when did you know something was wrong? Like if you could think about your life.
Okay.
And she has examples of this, but like when, like the example she has is some people actually knew that they shouldn't be with somebody like the first date, but then they kept being with them. Do you have any examples of like times in your life when you definitely knew something was wrong?
Yeah.
Early on.
Yeah. Yes.
And you didn't do anything about it. But like you could pinpoint it, and then you wish you like had followed that intuition, which is one of my things for this year, is like I want to follow intuition more.
The things I was thinking about, I feel like I did something about.
Like, for example,
yeah,
our second house, I definitely knew at closing that was the wrong house for us. My whole body was vibrating, being like, this is wrong, but I still did it.
Yes. And I knew that you didn't love the house, and I should have not bought it.
Yeah.
But I made a financial decision because it was a good investment. And if we had kept that house, we'd have the hot tub we keep talking about, because it has done very well in the market. No big deal though. No, moving on. Go ahead.
I have so many thoughts back to you for that. If we had just stayed where we were and bought a house up here, then it was way more than that.
But we had no money. I was like in school.
You were a bully. I had money. You had no money. I was the one working, and you bullied me. I'm letting go of that.
Yeah, what is the one thing you should let go of?
Was it like Robin's lightning bolt? Yeah.
Okay, what else? I was gonna say, I think that I've worked for bosses before where I knew like it wasn't a long-term relationship, but I was able, but I feel like I was like okay bailing when needed to bail, you know? Yeah.
But like what I feel like I can pinpoint jobs where I knew it was the wrong job for me, you know, and I stayed in one of my jobs for 10 years, and I knew. And was,
what are you talking about? What job?
One of the jobs I had. Okay.
It put you in a good position today.
It did, but I knew at the time that, you know, where would I be now if I wasn't there? You know?
Not where you are now.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about that anymore?
No, but I feel like you're shitting on my point.
Oh, sorry. I'm just all right, good point. It's like saying like I was in a role I didn't like, but because I was in that role, I got promoted, and now I'm where I'm happy I am. And you're like, well, I wish I wasn't in that role, but you earned where you're at today because you were in those roles.
I know, but okay, David.
All right, sorry. Okay, go ahead. What's the next question?
Bug. Okay, this one I really like. What are you attracting? And this is like the idea of manifesting, which I feel like is kind of woo-woo for me, but I do believe it in it after hearing her perspective on it. So what do you think of that? Like, do you believe
what's her perspective? I don't believe in manifesting.
Like what's
her perspective?
When you like she talks, I feel like it's gonna sound woo-woo to you, and so you're gonna be like, no. She like talks about raising your vibration, but really it's about putting your energy, like when you're thinking about something, you're putting your energy toward it more than you would if you were not thinking about it. And because of that, you're like raising your vibration for it to actually happen, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
David, what do you think about that?
Well, I just think that I think she's conflating some things. And
what is she?
I think, yes, if you are manifesting and you are thinking about and you're consumed with some kind of outcome, that you are going to identify opportunities to grow in that area, and you probably perform better in those areas, and then you're more likely to get that outcome. But it's not because your vibrations are attracting it. It's because you're changing your behaviors.
Yeah, I mean, tomato.
No, not tomato. If I walk around with a hammer, I'm going to see a lot of nails. And then I can't at the end be like, oh my God, look at how I've built this desk. Or that's a horrible analogy, but you get the idea. I am the one that's hammering and finding things that can be nailed together to build something. But I didn't just increase my frequency and all of a sudden I built something.
I know, but I feel like you're taking it literally. And she's meaning it the way you're meaning it.
Well, then she shouldn't say vibrations.
I know I knew that you were going to like hang on to that. But so it says, so when in order to manifest what you actually want in life, we must raise our vibrational level to the vibrational level of what we want. You want an incredible partner? Then make yourself an incredible partner.
Okay, that makes sense.
You want to attract more joy in your life? Curate joy. Watch funny movies. Go to the dog park. Do things that make you happy every day. You want more abundance? Stop living in scarcity. You want more health? Stop messing with things that make you sick. Your actions have to match your words. Your energy has to match the level you say you want to be at. You have to live as if the blessing is already upon you. Because, by the way, blessings always are. There are a million teachers much smarter than me who can teach you about this. So anyway, what are you attracting? You know?
I think that she's right.
That was so good, right?
That was so good, except for she could have just skipped the vibration part. I don't know what she's talking about. She should just say your behavior. If she just, why not? I know why. People like to read this vibration stuff. But if she just said your behaviors need to match your goals.
Yeah.
Then it would make sense. All right, I'm with it. Okay.
Okay. So
wait, what are you attracting?
I'm asking you. You're supposed to be the one answering.
I don't know what I'm attracting. We're trying to, I think this is a serious answer. I don't know what happens with like us doing YouTube. I don't know what happens with like Rob and I doing the podcast, but I do think that putting the time and energy into that puts me in a better position for more opportunities in the future. I think that there will be a point where someone goes, oh, well, David got lucky because this opportunity happened. And I will think, well, I don't think I got lucky. I think that I put myself in the position to be lucky because I worked on this skill set. So I hope that I am attracting growth and to have a louder voice and to make more of an impact because I put the time in. My behaviors are lining up with that long-term goal.
I agree.
Well, what are you attracting?
I am attracting a joyful family.
Oh, you are.
That's what I'm attracting.
I was going to say something inappropriate.
Okay, this next question is good for you.
Okay.
And this is actually like, it brings us back to the book we read on the anxious generation. But is this real? And it's like with the internet. And I think it's good for you because like you just put out a controversial video or not. To be honest, it wasn't controversial.
I think,
but people are so passionate, they can't hear what you're saying.
yeah.
And so, number one, I feel like they miss out, but I do feel like you know, you are listening to the viewers
Well,
and
I don't
gaining
know.
upset.
What's the question? Is this real? What real?
Like what's happening on the internet, like what you see on Instagram.
Oh, I just saw a video. This reminds me of, do you know who Ari Shafir is?
I think
he's a comedian, and he's a pretty provocative comedian, but Jewish man. And he was interviewing with Howie Mandel, and Howie Mandel was talking about the anti-Semitism that exists out there. And Ari Shafir is like a big traveler, and he's, his dad was in the Holocaust, or grandfather. I can't remember who. I think it was his dad, who's very old or whatever. He grew up in a very religious household, and he's talking about how he has never seen anti-Semitism in the real world. Like he's never been in any country. He's never had the experience where he walks outside and is confronted with somebody who is an anti-Semite.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes home and he watches the news and he reads the comments and he's on Instagram and he's overwhelmed by the amount of anti-Semitism that appears to be out there. And he's just saying, like, we get wrapped up in this world where, everything is caustic and negative. And then you walk around and you have this cloud around you that doesn't actually exist in 99.9% of your interactions.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really cool way of him, like, sort of, and because Howie Mandel was like, what are you talking about? It's everywhere. And Ari's like, I can't point to one time when I've seen it.
Well, a good example for me is that the internet knows my biggest fear, which is alligators or crocodiles.
Yes.
And I am literally only fed that on my Instagram. Yeah. Like every day, I think I send them to you. There is an alligator sighting. Mm-hmm. You could be killed at any moment. Mm-hmm. And my friend that lives in Florida was like, what are you talking about? Like, this never happens. Mm-hmm. But it's crazy. I'm fed only the news stories that are, and it's because the algorithm knows, which is really strange, that like of all my fears, the crocodile is the one. Mm-hmm. So I do think that is, you never know what's real. Plus, like, we have a friend that's dating that doesn't know, but is possibly dating a bot, and like, so I feel like there's people that are in relationships that don't know it's like bots. So I think like that's scary too.
Yeah, agreed.
That can actually happen. Like,
but you have to be the idea of a bot. I think the idea of getting inadvertently into a relationship with a bot says a lot about your psychological stability.
Well, can I tell you something that I was just thinking about? It's true. And I was thinking about, like, I'm in marketing and we use bots to answer questions. And and we make it like the algorithm keeps updating to sound more realistic, to have more realistic answers. So anyway. Wait, Allison and David are actually bots.
It could be. Wait, Monica, you have a question. What's your question? Go ahead. Okay. All right, keep going until Monica. Monica will post a question.
Okay, so I do feel like we have to detach ourselves from what?
This person says, wait a second, you should probably learn how to protect yourself from alligators, but where in the U.S. are crocodiles?
Florida.
There are no crocodiles in Florida.
They caught one today in Florida.
A crocodile?
That's what it said.
That's like in the Nile River.
I swear. Florida? No. They have saltwater crocodiles that came on a beach. Look at a croc crawling outside the front door. Miami-Dade.
How many deaths are there per year by alligator or crocodile?
This is literally every day.
A croc crawling just outside the front door of a home in Northeast Miami-Dade, making for a tense.
All right.
Every day.
Yeah, Elon has autism. He's been like really public. So the question is, I posted a video about Elon Musk's gestures at the inauguration. Yeah, so if you look it up, there's a lot of videos where he talks about having autism.
One of the things about this particular thing is when you are looking on social media and everyone has a curated life or everything, like you should pay attention to how it makes you feel. And if it's really triggering for you, and understanding that what your friends are posting or the party, it's not real. It's a curated thing. And she said she and her ex-husband definitely fell into that vortex. So.
All right.
All right.
Do we have one more last question, or are we done?
I think we can close out. I mean, there's definitely more questions that we didn't get to, but I think
well, I feel like I'd like to give an apology to both you and Rachel Hollis. While I struggle with like the guru mentality, I think that her questions are really, really good. And I'm impressed with the depth of thinking that those questions would inspire. So as you're just going through, you're spinning through the book, and I'm just looking at it going like, oh, so those are all really good, thoughtful questions. So thought-provoking.
And
questions.
I think there's more good questions in here. So like, one of the questions is, are you the problem? And there's a Taylor Swift song about that. But you should definitely, I would say it's a good read. I hope you read the book, Dave, and I do hope the audience reads it. And our next book, so I would say it's a good read. And she talks about her divorce and her new boyfriend and all the things that come with it.
Is this the boyfriend that she didn't want?
Well, now they're married, Ches.
But she didn't want. This is my problem with Rachel Hollis. I just want to be like, just be you. This is the boyfriend that she says that she wasn't interested in finding, although she joined Raya. Am I tracking that right?
Yeah, they both said they were just interested in buddies on Raya.
Oh yeah, that's where I always get my friends on dating apps. Like, I want to be like, hey, just tell the truth.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
Yeah. Okay, so the next book that we are reading, and I promise you I will read it, is the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. But I need 2 weeks to read the book.
No, we're going to do it next week.
Well, and then you're going to get mad at me for having not read it. But
David, you purposely didn't read it.
Because I have other things I'd like to read. I just don't want to read self-help books nonstop. All right, so the next book club is going to be next Wednesday. Is that right? And I'll force myself to read it. So Wednesday the 29th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, be there, be square. Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory.
Yes. Check out, we're going to do a live stream on Pop Psych. People want to ask you questions about Sister Wives and Elon Musk. And on Pop Psych, we also have a members only subscription. So join that as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Always.
See, people need more time. People cannot read a book a week. That is like you're going to do 52 book reviews in 1 week, in 1 year.
I just feel like Mel Robbins' book is hot right now. And then we'll slow it down.
Okay.
So get on it.
Let Them Theory by next week. You got a lot of homework. Get to it. All right. Thank you all. And sorry for the confusion on the different streams. These kind of book club streams will be on this channel. I'm just trying to sort of separate the audience because some of the Pop Psych audience doesn't like this stuff. So that's the goal. Thank you so much. Have a good night.